All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generation 1 Outback, another one of our little G1 mini bots here. Again, slowly but surely trying to get all of these guys. I think I have 5 left to go, at least of the ones that were, like the main guys in the show. Got Cliff Jumper, Power Glide, Cosmos, Hubcap, and Pipes are the 5 that I don't have. So almost done there, but still a little ways to go. But yeah, here we have Outback, who is obviously a just a repaint slash remold of G1 Brawn, as all of the 1986 mini bots were, except for Wheelie. They were all just like little retools of the 1984 mini bots. And yeah, no, he's a cute little alt mode here. Turns into his little Outback Jeep mode here. Comes with his little weapon here, which I'm always trying to figure this out. I don't think Brawn ever came with any version of this, right? I think this was a thing just for Outback, because it doesn't actually fit in the hole that my G1 Brawn has on the top, but I don't know, maybe that's just a reissue thing. But either way, if you want to store that, you can just plug it on top here, which looks a little bit silly, but since his vehicle mode was already kind of cute and chibi to begin with, and it doesn't really bother me. He's got his little rub sign here. This isn't the original Outback. I just got this guy on eBay last week, and I believe that this is the reissue from a few years ago, because he also has an Autobot symbol on the side here, which I don't care. He functions way better than my G1 Brawn, so I imagine that that's partially because he's a newer release of the figure, which I'm not too mad about. But yeah, no, cute little alt mode here. You can kind of rotate this around if you want. Just have him have a big cannon on the top of his Jeep mode. In terms of comparisons in this mode, just for the standard one, here he is with the Kingdom Sideswipe, so you can see what it looks like with an average modern deluxe there. For our previous version of Outback, here he is with the Power of the Primes, I think, either Titan's Return or Power of the Primes. It was the Titan's Return Brawn, I think Power of the Primes Outback, who I quite like as Outback, but I would like to get a new version of him at some point using that Studio Series Brawn mold. Obviously, they'd have to reshape some things a little bit, since Outback, looks a little bit different than Brawn the cartoon, like with his head kind of sunk into the area like the G1 toy was. So I would hope that they would remold that figure in a way to do that, but we'll cross that bridge when we inevitably come to it. But either way, that's what the two of them look like together. Speaking of Brawn, here he is with G1 Brawn, just so you can see what they look like there. Mostly the same mold. Obviously, we've got like the differences because the head is kind of poking out here on the bottom, so that bit of the bumper is a little bit different. And then if you look at their wheels here, Brawn's is a lot thicker. And like I said, this doesn't fit in here. I'm pretty sure that G1 Brawn didn't come with this, so this was an Outback thing. So you can't really do that. But I don't know, maybe if some reissues of Brawn might have had the smaller wheel to accommodate that. I'm not totally sure. But either way, that's what the two of them look like together. And here he is with the rest of the 1986 mini bots that I own. Again, just missing hubcap and pipes there, but that's what the 4 of them look like together. Rounding out so far so good. But yeah, to get onto transformation, we'll just put the gun off to the side for now. Obviously, it's pretty much the exact same as G1 Brawn. Pretty simple. You just want to untab these sections from here, and then they will, in theory, rotate around like that. I don't know why. Yeah, this one was just stuck on something. And you want to rotate them around all the way so that the door panel can clear this corner here. So you do have to have that lined up properly, so you can take the side panels here, slide them out. Thankfully, they're a lot easier to slide out than they are on my G1 Brawn. And then rotate the arms out from the panels here and just kind of leave those on the back. And then you can compress up the legs. Just like that. And it can be a little bit tricky to get these chrome bits out since they are so thin and kind of, sandwiched in there. And there we have G1 Outback in his robot mode. God, my voice cracking there. Is a robot mode. And yeah, he looks, pretty stupid, but like a lot of the G1 toys do. But I've always liked Outback's look. Again, when they made his cartoon design, he was a lot more accurate to the G1 toy, whereas Brawn was a lot more, just like inspired by the G1 toy. Like when they started doing like the later designs for seasons 2 and 3, they were just like a lot more accurate to the original toys, which as a result means that a lot of the guys that use the same mold from multiple different years ended up looking quite different to each other in the cartoon, even though their toys are pretty similar. But yeah, no, he's cute here. In terms of articulation, you don't really get a whole lot. The arms can kind of fold up and down. The legs, they can extend forward and back. Well, not really back, actually, just forward. But they also kind of compress in on this joint, which, you know, does kind of come undone if you like do that too much, but you get the idea there. In terms of his weapon, unfortunately, he can't really hold it at all, so that's kind of silly. So you pretty much just leave it on his on the back here. So it's pretty much just for vehicle mode, if you know, unless I'm just like totally missing something. But you know, I've looked around and I don't really see anywhere where it could tab into his little flat weird hand. So I don't know. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode. Firstly, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, just so you can see what he looks like with an average size deluxe there. Here he is again with Power of the Primes Outback, just so you can see how the two of them look. And yeah, you know, pretty decent little update to the silly little proportions of him. That's why I thought this mold always worked better as Outback than Brawn, just because he's got that like weird long torso, which is, I feel like, really more of an Outback look, just because his head is like sculpted to be higher than, you know, G1 Bronze, where it's down here. But yeah, that's what the two of them look like together. Here he is with G1 Bronze, just so you can see the differences here. This whole like bottom panel with the head and the chest and everything is a you know, a different sculpted part, which makes him look quite different. Like I said, his head is a bit higher. Also, the arms are a little different. Instead of having the weird little hook hands that Brawn had, he's got like actual hands. They're still weird and flat, but you know, largely the same, or largely, you know, different than the hook hands that Brawn had. So that's what the two of them look like together. And then, of course, last but not least, here he is again with Wheelie and Tailgate and Swerve, just so you can see how the 86 mini bots are rounding out here so far. And yeah, you know, it's probably my least favorite year of the mini bots, all things considered. I like a lot of the like updated designs, but you know, they're kind of more iconic, I think, as the original characters. So it's like I like him better than Brawn just because he stays together a lot better than my Brawn does, which is partially A, because he's old, and also because he's like a weird amalgamation of a couple different, you know, Junker Brawns that I got. So he's the tolerances kind of don't work well with him, whereas this guy being a reissue, you know, just generally stays together a lot better. But the overall design aesthetic of the characters, Brawn is obviously more, I feel like, iconic and, you know, fun looking. But still, I like these guys nonetheless. Just probably my least favorite year of mini bots, all things considered. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to them. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Generation 1 Mini Bot Outback. If I can get him back in his vehicle mode here. So like just the tolerances of or not really, but just like clearance of like getting these parts around certain sections can be a little bit annoying on both these guys, but he's a lot less of a pain than Brawn is. But anyway, there he is.